Before we dive into the incredible story of Juliana Kopka, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on more amazing content like this. Let's get started. She was weak and exhausted. Her throat was dry from lack of water. Mosquito bites covered her body, and her limbs were scorched by the hot sun. She felt and saw death before her eyes. Though the watch on her hand had stopped, she was trying to count the days ever since she fell out of the sky in a plane crash. Before fainting, she felt people approaching her. She told them with all her strength, "I was involved in the Lanza accident. My name is Juliana." Juliana was born on October 10, 1954 in Germany to Maria and Hans Wilhelm, a zoologist by profession. Her parents were employed at the National History Museum. When Juliana was 14 years old, her parents left the city to establish the Penguana Research Facility Center in the thick jungles of the Amazon. For the next 2 years, Juliana helped her parents in the search without going to school. During these 2 years, she learned about many animals, plants, and insects of the forest. She also trained on how to survive in harsh conditions in the forest. Senior scientists didn't think it was right to keep a little girl in the jungle, so she was sent to Lima City for further education. Juliana was 17 when Maria came to visit her daughter in December 1971. They both wanted to go to see their father for Christmas. Maria was supposed to leave on the 20th, but the graduation ceremony was on the 23rd, so Maria stayed at Juliana's request. Maria and Juliana were about to leave for a trip. Maria wanted to travel by plane, but all the flights were fully booked. Only one airline remained, Lanza. The Lanza had a poor history in terms of safety. Maria had forbidden Juliana to travel on this plane several times. Juliana decided to travel by Lanza as she wanted to reach on time for Christmas. The atmosphere was very bad and cloudy. Such an environment was dangerous for air travel, but the airline allowed to take off. The plane traveled safely up to 1,332 miles. The plane, flying at an altitude of 2,000, encountered black clouds and lightning. The passengers were having tremors like an earthquake due to the weather outside. The gifts to be taken during the journey were falling on the passengers and causing injury to them. Suddenly, there was a bright light and smoke was coming from the plane. "It's all over. It's the end," were Maria's last words to Juliana, and she too lost herself. The plane broke into 2 pieces in the air and crashed from 10,000 feet. The plane crashed in the Amazon rainforest. When Juliana regained consciousness, 19 hours had passed since the accident. When she opened her eyes and came to her senses, she felt that her neck, shoulder, and heel had been hit hard. Her eye was injured and had a large swelling that prevented her from seeing with that eye. All her clothes were torn, and only one white-colored sandal was on her feet. Her body was shaking due to the scratches all over the body. She wore glasses because she couldn't see well up close, but she lost her glasses in the accident. Although there was no problem in the body, she decided to find Maria. She called out to Maria loudly, but there was no response from her. Juliana did not see Maria on the other side of this creeping grandmother, but she was nowhere to be seen. Maria never put nail polish on her fingers. She wasn't Maria. She realized, "I am going to die now," and burst into tears. After some time, she tried to stand up, but her limbs were shaking too much. Her legs were shaking. However, after some time, she managed to stand on her feet. Slowly drinking the drops of water from a nearby leaf and taking support, she relieved the dryness of her throat. Juliana noticed that planes were hovering to look for the wreckage of the crashed plane and tried to make a loud noise, but her voice could not be heard due to the thick bushes. Juliana decided to go to an open space. While passing through the thick and waist-high wild grass, she threw the sandal in her hand to see if there were any snakes or scorpions on the way. She did not want to risk her life by stepping on them. On the way, she came across a box of chocolates. She ate some of the chocolate and kept some for later. At a short distance, she saw a spring of water. She drank water to her stomach's content. She decided to travel with the flow of the waterfall so that she could reach a human settlement as soon as possible. This lasted for many days. Due to the rainy season, she did not get to eat fruits and tubers from the trees. She found no edible fish or marine life in the water, so she spent their days eating chocolate and drinking water. The constant rain made the air very cold, and the ground was also damp everywhere. Juliana slept in wild grass at night. Her torn clothes left her bitten all over by mosquitoes and insects. A fly had laid eggs in her right hand wound, causing her immense pain. Although the flies were driven away, the eggs could not be removed. Due to the threat of snakes, crocodiles, and poisonous bushes on land, she chose to travel by water, knowing there was still danger in the water, but less than on land. After a long day's journey, she reached the bank of a river but found no human habitation, which made them very disappointed. She had suffered a lot due to injuries on their bodies, including internal injuries, and she had run out of chocolate. She drank water and filled their stomachs. She began to feel that her house was nearby and she could see good food. She swam across the river and looked for human settlements following the flowing river. One day, she felt something stabbing her on her back, which turned out to be a second-degree burn caused by intense sunlight. Weakly, she came across huge piles of wood, and when the pain in her body subsided, she climbed on them with all her might, lying on them without getting hurt. The oars were drifting with the current of the river, and Juliana lost sight of them. When she came to her senses, she saw a red boat, which she couldn't believe was real until she touched it herself. She decided to take a nearby small road and found a small hut in the middle of a hill. Upon opening the door of the hut, she found no one there, only an engine and boat fuel in the center. Juliana washed her right hand wound with fuel, causing her a lot of pain, but many larvae came out, and she cleaned the wound. She waited all night at the hut, hoping for someone to arrive, but unable to sleep on the floor, she moved to the bank of the river and slept on the sand there. The following day, Juliana, out of hunger, attempted to catch and eat some frogs that were present around the hut. However, she soon discovered that they were poisonous, which could have proved fatal for her. After taking some rest, Juliana heard voices, and eventually, 3 people arrived at the hut. Initially, they were afraid of her, but they eventually helped her by dressing her wounds, providing her with fresh clothes and food. They then took her to the largest wooden bastion center in the nearby human settlement, where she was transported by boat to Pucallpa, and a local pilot took her to the hospital. The doctor informed Juliana that her collarbone was broken, her back's vertebrae had shifted slightly, and her skin was partially torn. Once she had recovered, she was interviewed by local authorities, providing them with the site of the accident and the coordinates. With this information, the Air Force and police were able to locate the crash site, where 91 people had died, including Juliana's mother, who had been one of 14 injured but had died due to a lack of timely treatment. Juliana's bravery was widely recognized, and she received over 100 letters from people around the world inquiring about her well-being. Newspapers and TV channels dubbed her the Miracle Girl, and an autobiography and documentary film were made about her life, including her ordeal in the Amazon jungle. After the accident that resulted in the death of her mother, Juliana traveled to Germany with her father, where she received treatment for her injuries and the mental trauma that the incident had caused. She eventually completed her education in Germany, earning a PhD. At present, Juliana, aged 62, works as a librarian at the Bavarian State Collection of Zoology. Throughout her life, she has shown resilience and courage, overcoming various challenges, including her difficult experience in the Amazon jungle. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it and found it informative. If you did, please consider subscribing to my channel to stay updated on all my latest content. Your support helps me continue creating high-quality videos like this. Also, don't forget to hit the like button and leave a comment below to let me know what you thought about this video. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.